never do these things for a narcissistic woman. Biggest mistakes to avoid. Have you ever found yourself trapped in a relationship, wondering how you got there? Confused by her hurtful behavior, yet believing things will get better if you just love her more? You may be dealing with a narcissist, someone incapable of true intimacy, yet highly skilled at manipulation. Getting involved with such a woman can turn your life into a nightmare roller coaster of confusion and emotional trauma. In this video, we'll uncover the biggest mistakes men make when dealing with narcissistic women, things you should never do if you want to protect your sanity and well-being. We'll look at what drives the narcissist's harmful behavior, common manipulation tactics they employ, why our normal relationship strategies always backfire with them, and most importantly, how to detect narcissism early and exit dysfunctional situations. Arm yourself with this vital knowledge before the narcissist ensnares you in her web of lies and illusions. It could save you years of agony.
What makes narcissists tick?
To deal effectively with narcissists, we must first understand them. Though often portrayed as confident, something far more sinister drives their actions. Imagine struggling every day with barely contained feelings of emptiness, rage, shame, and envy. Your sense of self feels fragile, ready to shatter at any moment. These painful emotions originate from childhood wounds and attachment traumas. As children, narcissists learned manipulative behaviors to cope when caregivers failed to provide warmth or meet their needs appropriately. Now, as adults, the narcissist constructs a false self to present to the world. This shields their fragile true self from scrutiny. They pursue endless external validation to stabilize their self-worth. Status, beauty, wealth, attention. The narcissist uses these to construct a superior facade. Beneath lies an abyss of unstable self-esteem and a terror of being ordinary. Rage simmers when the facade cracks. They envy others who seem to possess the happiness and normalcy they lack.
The narcissistic woman's choice of partners.
When seeking relationships, narcissists follow predictable patterns shaped by their inner drives. Their partner choice relies on assessing who can provide the best supply for their needs. Often, these targets seem extremely giving, willing to please, overtly admiring of the narcissist, or having some enviable asset. As the relationship progresses, however, the narcissist devalues and discards partners who cease to provide sufficient validation or who trigger their feelings of inferiority through accomplishments of their own. Over time, they reduce the number of close relationships to include only those most subservient and unconditionally doting.
Hooking you in, idealize, devalue, discard.
During courtship, the narcissist employs an arsenal of manipulation tactics to ensnare her target. At first, you'll encounter only her false self, a charming, exciting facade tailor-made to enthrall you. She flatters you excessively, agrees with your every opinion, and future fakes a storybook romance. This idealization phase bonds you quickly through fantasy and infatuation. Soon, though, cracks appear in her facade, revealing her true self: immature, irresponsible, and demanding. What began as quirks become intolerable flaws. You question yourself, where's the woman I fell in love with? Little do you know, she never existed. The devaluation phase sees the narcissist employ emotional weapons like gaslighting, criticism, withdrawal, triangulation, and rage to keep you off balance and compliant to her desires. She projects her own shame onto you, punishing you for her feelings of deficiency. You become the cause of all her problems. For brief periods, she tosses you scraps of affection, which strengthens traumatic bonding and keeps you begging for more. In time, however, not even complete submission satisfies the narcissist's needs. Her eyes wander to new targets, and she begins grooming your replacement. Once secured, she swiftly discards you without remorse or closure, leaving your mind in turmoil. She immediately resumes the idealization process with someone else.
Why conventional relationship strategies fail.
When encountering narcissistic abuse, our natural response is to treat it as a normal relationship problem. We listen sympathetically, self-reflect on our shortcomings, and try to please her more. You must understand these basic human strategies only make things exponentially worse with narcissists. Though seeming no different from ordinary struggles, the motivations and mindset enabling narcissistic abuse stem from disordered pathology. You cannot love, negotiate, or compromise your way out. The narcissist's defenses trigger when sensing rejection, abandonment, or feeling inferior. Your normal actions unintentionally provoke her deepest insecurities. She feels threatened and assaulted whenever you set healthy boundaries, yet stays enraged by submissiveness. It angers her true self to rely on someone she considers beneath her. Either way, narcissistic defenses translate everything as an attack on her false, perfect self. She projects rejection rage onto you no matter what you do.
Biggest mistakes men make.
Now we come to the key focus of this video, the biggest errors men make when trying to cope with narcissistic women, often with devastating personal consequences.
Mistake 1, believing she will change.
Despite endless broken promises, you cling to the fantasy that she can return to being that ideal partner you first met. You may misinterpret occasional periods of decency as signs she's overcome her issues thanks to your love. But abusers only temporarily switch back to idealization in order to reassert control when targets become independent. It quickly reverts. You must accept this disorder forms over years of dysfunctional coping. Her neural networks simply don't process emotions or empathy normally. Lasting change requires serious long-term therapy, difficult for those lacking self-awareness or thinking nothing's wrong with them.
Mistake 2, taking her bait.
During confrontations, the narcissist masterfully baits you into reacting emotionally and losing composure. Don't take the bait. Getting defensive, trying to reason with her, or point out double standards will only feed her narcissistic supply and rage at your attempts to hold her accountable. Stay mentally disengaged. Let her words pass through you without impact using the gray rock technique. Become as boring as possible through one-word answers and emotional detachment. Your calmness infuriates her, yet provides no fuel for further reaction. It also protects your sanity from mind games. Gradually disengage.
Mistake 3, blaming yourself.
The narcissist projects shame and inferiority onto you chronically, training you to blame yourself for the relationship problems. Don't fall for it. Understand intellectually that disorder makes it impossible for her to take responsibility or empathize normally with your needs. Nothing you do differently within reason can fix this. Cease harsh self-criticism over not being good enough, having the right words, or loving her perfectly. Her brain will still interpret everything as an offense.
Mistake 4, isolating from support.
Abusers often cut targets off from outside support. Don't let this happen. Protect connections, offering reality checks, validation, and emotional nourishment. They anchor your worth so you don't cling desperately to the narcissist. Secret friendships outside the bubble of madness remind you healthier dynamics exist.
Mistake 5, losing yourself.
The narcissistic agenda aims to strip everything of value from you for their gain dreams, confidence, self-esteem, passions, friends, finances, and personality. Don't become so other-focused that you abandon enriching independent pursuits just to please or take care of her. It's a dangerous trap. Keep engaging your interests and developmental path. Make your life primarily about your growth and purpose rather than the dysfunctional roller coaster.
Escaping narcissistic abuse.
If currently involved with a narcissist, immediate no-contact departure offers the only real possibility for healing and preventing further damage. Expect sabotage if you announce your intentions prematurely. Secure practical essentials like housing, financial accounts, and irreplaceable possessions safely away from the narcissist in advance. Inform key support contacts about your plans and process feelings with them. Refrain from keeping abusive treatment a secret anymore due to shame. Studies show brain alterations from emotional abuse resemble PTSD symptoms. Get trauma-informed therapy immediately to unpack coping mechanisms that developed unconsciously to survive the dysfunctional dynamics. Use journaling, meditation, and body-focused modes of processing like yoga or nature walks to help discharge built-up painful energies stored from chronic hypervigilance. Don't numb awareness with addictions. Most importantly, cease harsh self-judgment about this experience. Psychological disorders create labyrinths impossible for normal minds to navigate. Forgive yourself and reconnect to your inherent worthiness as a human being. There exist people capable of healthy reciprocal love. The pathological kind you endured cannot become the yardstick for measuring relationships. The future awaits with brighter possibilities once you close this traumatic chapter.
Become part of the solution.
The information you now have makes you part of a vital solution to the narcissistic abuse so many suffer silently through. Share this knowledge compassionately with anyone showing signs they may be entangled with a narcissist. Though the truth can sting initially, you offer them possibility of liberation and a clearer mind. And if you found my breakdown of these dynamics personally helpful, I warmly invite you to join this community by hitting the subscribe button now. In our protective circle, you'll discover more empowering truths about narcissists, as well as other key areas for building back your self-worth after abuse. I aim for my content to provide clarity and healing, the type I sought desperately during my personal journey out of narcissistic captivity years ago. You need not struggle alone when there exist people who understand, offering practical wisdom minus judgment. We learn together. My mission is that everyone affected by narcissists avoids unnecessary suffering by gaining the right knowledge early. I hope to see your face among those subscribing and look forward to further helping you reclaim happiness, authentic meaning, and healthy relationships again. The possibility exists. You need only take the next step to embrace it.